here we go. Back again. Back again. Alright? And yeah, today is Friday. So, it's the Friday Fix. And would you believe it? This is the 10th episode of the Friday Fix. What a surprise, right? But yeah, I did say with this we would give it 10. And yeah, like meme of the week, it will continue. Happy days, right? And to begin with, we will touch on a second wave. Is it or isn't it? Will it or won't it? Right? And this is 3 days ago from The Guardian. Coronavirus, fears of a potential second wave rise across Europe. And this has been all week now. Talk of a second wave in the UK and Europe and Asia. As you can see, second wave of coronavirus in Asia prompts fresh lockdowns. And yeah, it's the same here in the UK, which we will touch on in a minute. But sticking with the second wave, this is from the Times 2 days ago. Is this the second wave of coronavirus in Europe? Well, I'd imagine that they will say it is, right? This one is from The Telegraph 1 day ago. Cambridge scientists fear coronavirus second wave as R rate rises across UK. Now, once again, this is this magical R rate number, right, that they decide everything by. And yeah, it's computerised. It's basically computer modelling again. 1 day ago, The Independent, second wave could target young people this time, scientists warn. So yeah, the virus has now decided that it's going to go for young people, right? The winter is coming and almost certainly a second wave of the virus is coming. So almost certainly it's coming. So is it or isn't it, right? And this article will expand on it a wee bit. It says, a second wave of coronavirus is certainly coming, but this time it could target young people. Experts have warned. Right, so this time it doesn't say almost, it just says certainly. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that they're going to pull the same shit once again, right? It then says, the first wave of COVID-19 has predominantly affected elderly people, those with underlying health conditions, and ethnic minority groups. And yeah, what a really strange and interesting virus this seems to be. How it just picks and chooses its targets. It's almost like it's manipulated or even made up, if you want, right? But it then says, but scientists fear young people enjoying their summer will be hit next, as was the case with the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. What a surprise, right? Once again, they're comparing it to the Spanish flu. And it then says, what we saw in 1918 was the virus change. You know, the second wave was different from the first wave, and it affected a different group of people, predominantly younger people. So, with that said, I would imagine that they're going to target young people. But how will they do that, I wonder? Well, it's probably through something that we will touch on in this episode, right? And it begins with a number. So yeah, work that one out. And it did say as well in The Independent, it showed you this photo, and as you can see, Spanish flu victims receive outdoor fresh air treatment in Massachusetts, US, 1918. So there you go. Thanks to The Independent for letting us know that fresh air and fresh oxygen is what you need if you're ill. Or, well, you need it anyway, but especially if you are ill, you need fresh air without a doubt. So wearing a mask would not be a good idea, right? That is for sure. And sticking with the second wave, as you can see, this is from The Guardian 2 days ago. One big wave. Why the COVID-19 second wave may not exist. Wow, right? And yeah, but hey, it's not what you think. Although it is the truth, let's face it. The first wave didn't even exist, right? But it says the COVID-19 pandemic is currently unfolding in one big wave, with no evidence that it follows seasonal variations common to influenza and other coronaviruses, such as the common cold, the World Health Organization has warned. Right, so yeah, this is now becoming, without a doubt, some sort of super virus where it is completely different from all the rest, and they're now saying, seemingly, that it won't come in seasons or waves. It's just here, basically, forever, right? Like they've said. And we're still in the first wave. Well, actually, I'm still waiting on the first wave. But hey, there you go. It then says, people are still thinking about seasons, right? What we all need to get our heads around is this is a new virus, and this one is behaving differently, right? Harris told a virtual briefing in Geneva, urging vigilance in applying measures to slow transmission that appears to be accelerated by mass gatherings. Right? So yeah, mass gatherings, you could imagine, will be out the window soon. So things like sporting events and weddings and funerals even, well, they'll be done. It'll be via iPad or fucking video link, right? This is the Telegraph again, and this is the latest today. Coronavirus latest news. Last minute northern lockdown was chaos, right? And this is last night in England. They decided to put certain places in Manchester and round about into lockdown, and it was a very last minute decision, and yeah, it created absolute chaos. I mean, just imagine being told the night before that you're now in lockdown, so everything that you've been planning is completely out the window, and yeah, people will be losing their fucking shit over that, and I would advise them just to say no. Fucking, we've had enough. We ain't going back into lockdown. Forget it, right? And it's the same story in America as well. This is from Wired 3 weeks ago. America isn't having a second wave. Its first wave never stopped. Right. So yeah, it looks like America is still in its first wave. But this was 3 weeks ago. And there has been reports of spikes, local spikes, similar to here in the UK. So I would imagine it will be the same story where they will have local lockdowns, because that's what's happening here in the UK. And we will touch on the very latest at the end of this video. So hang tight. But yeah, we'll leave a second wave or a first wave, or any wave, for the time being. But yeah, I am sure that we will be back to this at some point next week. So yeah, look out for it. But I wanted to touch on now the coming vaccine. Because yeah, we're all waiting on it, right? We can't wait to get it. Sure, we're all going to be lining up for it. But of course I won't be there. That's for sure. And this is from Clinical Trials Arena 4 hours ago, date being July 31st. AstraZeneca reports good progress of COVID-19 vaccine in trials. What a surprise, right? It looks like it's all going good. Shock horror. 1 day ago in the Mirror, coronavirus vaccine, hope as monkeys protected after single dose. So yeah, the monkeys are being protected from the virus. Hip hip hooray. So yeah, it looks like it's running smoothly for the vaccine to be dished out by the billion, of course. 16 hours ago, ABC News, UK scientists to immunise hundreds with coronavirus vaccine. And yeah, we touched on this, and they are now heading into, of course, phase 3 trials, right? So we'll see what happens there. One day ago, The Guardian, coronavirus, UK signs deal for 60 million doses of potential vaccine. Now, for about 2 weeks, we've been hearing this story that a deal has been signed, right? So yeah, many deals must have been signed if that's the case. So how lucky are we in the UK? But yeah, it looks like America will be the same. I'd imagine they will get the Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, and they're saying that early tests, it is performing well. Hip hip hooray, look out, it's coming. But hey, just say no, don't accept it. It's not safe. No vaccine is safe. So don't, just don't, right? Take my word for it, don't do it. And moving on from that, but sticking with the vaccine, this is Sky News today. Coronavirus, leading Chinese scientist injected with unknown experimental vaccine. Right, so a Chinese scientist has seemingly had a vaccine, unknown, an experimental vaccine. But did he? Did he really? Why can't we see him having it, right? It says one of China's leading scientists has been injected with an experimental coronavirus vaccine to encourage the public to follow suit when one is approved. Right, so are we now going to see Jill and Bill and Melinda Gates come out and say that they've had one of the vaccines? Yeah, but have they really? I doubt it very much. I doubt even the Chinese guy has had it. It's probably, like everything in the media, complete and utter fucking bullshit, right? And now I'm going to touch on 5G. Wonderful 5G. Because like the vaccine, we're all waiting on it. We all want it, right? Birmingham Live, one day ago. Bromford residents delight as plans for 5G mast withdrawn. Happy days. Now, this is what can happen when you come together as a community and say, hey, wait a fucking minute, we don't want it, right? Put it elsewhere. But that's what they do, unfortunately. It'll just go somewhere else. But hey, wherever it goes, they need to then say, no, we don't want it also, right? Get it to fuck. And this is from 2 days ago. And this is again in the UK, Portsmouth. 5G mast bid near Portsmouth school sparks 26 objections over health and safety. Fucking right. And yeah, why is it? I mean, it's constant that I seem to notice anyway, that they want to put these masts on top of schools or next to schools. And it's horrendous, really. Just say no. And if it's happening near you, inform your community that other communities have said no, they don't want it on the grounds of health and safety. So get rid of it, right? And go straight to your council and tell them no, object against it. Because, yeah, it's fucking dangerous stuff, right? And we'll move on from that one. But sticking with the wonderful 5G, this is from Digit, FYI. 5G Create provides £30 million fund to 6 UK projects. Right, I read that wrong, but it's the same thing, right? But yeah, 5G is a money spinner, right? And as you can see, 22 hours ago, gov.uk funding boost for UK tech innovators to seize opportunities of 5G 5G. Right, so now the British government are making funds available to innovators that want to promote and work with 5G. Right, so you can imagine that these psychos who only see the pound signs will be scrambling to roll out the 5G, and it is being rolled out rapid at the moment. This whole year, it's crazy. And let's face it, we don't want it and we don't need it, right? And I seen this article, I forgot what date it was, sorry, but it's this week it came out. It's from Prevention, and it says, what is 5G exactly? It's a type of radiation, and here's why experts say it's safe. Right, so straight up, it's radiation. So yeah, radiation ain't fucking safe, no matter what way you want to dress it up. Low, medium, high, any sort of voltage or dose. It's dangerous, dangerous stuff, right? Full stop. And this article basically tries to say that it's not dangerous because it's only at a low level, right? But it does also go on to say, as you can see, is it safe to use 5G networks? Question mark. Well, it says, though 5G networks are unlikely to pose any new threat, there are steps you can take if you're concerned about your cell phone usage. Since RF waves lose strength as they travel away from your phone's built-in antenna, you can turn off your phone and put it in another room when you do not need it, when you don't need it even. You can also create some distance between your body and your phone by taking calls through a headset or earbuds instead of holding the phone to your ear. Right, so yeah, 5G's not safe, but if you have it, then yeah, you might want to leave your phone in another room, and you might not want to put the phone right up against your ear. You might want to get a headset, right? But hey, 5G is totally safe, right? So let's have a wee look at radiation, right? And low radiation, seen as it's so safe, right? Well, what does it say? Well, radiation damages the cells that make up the human body. Damn straight. Low levels of radiation are not dangerous, right? But medium levels can lead to sickness, headaches, vomiting, and a fever. High levels can kill you by causing damage to your internal organs. Ain't that something? It can lead to headaches, sickness, vomiting, and a fever. Does that sound familiar? I bet it fucking does. And what about effects of continued low-level radiation? Well, a low dose of radiation produces a small amount of damage. This triggers increased damage control system activity, which deals not only with the trivial radiation damage, but also with the much larger indigenous cell damage, resulting in less cancer overall. So not no cancer overall, but less cancer overall in comparison to high levels. So it is fucking dangerous, right? And this one as well. What are some of the effects of long-term exposure to low-level ionizing radiation? Ionizing radiation can affect the atoms in living things, so it poses a health risk by damaging tissue and DNA in genes, has significant energy to affect the atoms in living cells and thereby damage their genetic material, the DNA. It can also result in long-term health effects such as cancer and cardiovascular disease. 2nd of August 2019. And still, we can't go on. What about low radiation damage? Well, exposure to low levels of radiation encountered in the environment does not cause immediate health effects, but is a minor contributor to our overall cancer risk. Damn straight. Visit the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention for more information about possible health effects of radiation exposure and contamination. So yeah, low levels of radiation is dangerous, right? And there is no doubt about it, especially long-term exposure, which we will all get eventually under a 5G grid, right? Happy days. And you will notice that it says does not cause immediate health effects. It doesn't say does not cause health effects, right? Because it does. And like we've said, it is dangerous stuff, right? And we don't want it. Fuck, we don't even need it, right? But hey, it's coming. And moving on from the 5G, the wonderful 5G, and dancing into AI, the fantastic AI, right? Because it's basically going to take over the world. Let's face it, right? It's going to wipe us all out. And it was this dude here, Hancock. I absolutely detest this man. And yeah, I think somebody would probably have to hold me back if I seen this guy. But he was giving a speech to the NHS, right? And he was basically telling them that their jobs in the future will be taken over from AI. They're going to get replaced by AI. This is the way it's going. And we said before, about a month ago, everything now is heading into a virtual world. That's the way it's going to be. Now, when Matt Hancock gave his speech to doctors and nurses, not once did he get a round of applause, because they knew exactly what he was talking about. And he was basically saying that in the future, your jobs will belong to AI. And yeah, that's the way it's heading. This is 3 weeks ago in The Independent. AI technology will soon replace error-prone humans all over the world. What a surprise, right? We're error-prone, so we're useless, basically, right? And 2 weeks ago, Beta News, it might be better at you, but it ain't better at me, right? Can AI replace white-collar jobs? Question mark. Well, yeah, they can. It could practically replace anything, right? 2 days ago, experts, AI-powered robots will replace humans on the shop floor. So it ain't just the white-collar jobs, it's the shop floor jobs, right? And this one is from Digital Market News. Can artificial intelligence replace the role of doctors? 3 weeks ago. So yeah, it looks like it's coming for sure. The conditioning is there, and it's only a matter of time before they replace me and you. And this is another thing, really, that we need to stop, that humanity needs to stop. Because once again, similar to 5G, we don't need it and we don't want it, right? It's being forced upon us, as with everything else that we have to suffer, right? Medical press 3 days ago, physicians urge hospitals to become artificial intelligence ready. Sure. Now, I wonder who these physicians are, and I wonder who is backing them, who is funding them, right? I bet you any money it's fucking Bill Gates, right? That would not surprise me one bit. Maybe that's something that we can look into next week. And it all reminds me of this movie, Idiocracy. And I'd imagine most of you have probably seen this film. It's not the greatest of films, to be honest, but it's becoming more of a documentary rather than a comedy. And this is him at a hospital here in the movie. As you can see, everything is computerized. It's all computer modeling, right? Yeah, it's a AI hospital. This is what the future probably will be like the fucking movie Idiocracy, where everyone's stupid and they don't even feed water to plants. This is the way it's going. There's his keyboard there. Type in your problem and go and get your medication, right? It's like one big computerized system. So yeah, that's probably where it's all heading. And if you ain't seen that movie, then check it out. You'll get a glimpse of the future, right? Crazy stuff. But hey, we need to stop it, that's for sure. And yeah, like always, we don't even want or need it, right? And just finally for today, this was breaking news this afternoon in terms of the UK. As you can see, government halts further lockdown easing after infections rise. Right, so the UK has now, well, England at least, has halted the easing of lockdowns right across the country. And this is from Sky News 4 hours ago. The planned easing of lockdown restrictions has been postponed for at least a fortnight, with face masks to become mandatory by law in all public indoor settings on August the 8th. Shock, horror, right? Now talk about a tyranny, right? We are fucking living it, that is for sure. And we will touch on this next week because it's a rolling story still. And yeah, a lot of people, they ain't fucking happy. And no wonder. Like I said, just say no. We've had enough. We don't want another lockdown. The effects of it are too much, right? It is staggering, to say the least. So yeah, go out, for sure. Say no. We are not staying in. Fuck it, right? Object against it. Anyway, that is me for the weekend, basically. I will be back on Sunday with Meme of the Week, right? The 11th episode of Meme of the Week. And yeah, it continues. And if you've got anything to get to me, then you can hit me up on Twitter, as you can see. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. And that is about it. Bye-bye.